welcome back to Talking to Teachers, presented by CBA's Digital Network. My name is Nicholas Harari, and I'm here with Ms. Maccarella. Ms. Maccarella, it's a pleasure to have you today.
It is my pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
So first off, would you mind telling us, what your position is at CBA?
Sure. Well, here at CBA, I'm the Director of Enrollment Management. And so what that means is that myself, along with Ms. Neary, are in charge of everything to do with admissions, so planning our open houses, our entrance exams, visiting middle schools, holding all of the programs that we do, as well as enrollment activities. And so actually helping students, planning things like shadow days, so students can come and experience a half day here at CBA and really immerse themselves in the day, so that they can get a better understanding of CBA. And so really helping with the overall enrollment, not only of an incoming freshman class, but also of possibly transfer students, and also all of you guys who are here as our current students. We want to make sure, and Ms. Neary and I really take part in enrollment activities for the whole school, making sure that what we're doing, building our community here, is working really well for all of you.
That's awesome. And, would you mind telling us what your origin story was, how you got into that position?
Sure, definitely. So admissions is kind of a world that you just fall into. There's not a specific degree that you study to go into either high school admissions or college admissions. Really having a passion for education, being able to talk well and interact well with people are some of the primary foundations. And also just being really good at coming up with ideas regarding marketing, how to put a program out there. And so I went to school for marketing, and then I started working in college admissions for my alma mater, which is Bentley University, and I worked there for about 13 years. And so college admissions was my entire life. I ate, slept, breathed, visiting high schools. And CBA was one of the schools that I visited because New Jersey was my territory, being from New Jersey myself. And so CBA was a school I visited, and I said, if I ever kind of switched sides and worked at a high school, this would be the kind of school I would want to work at, because I found myself really believing in what CBA did by virtue of the students that I was meeting. I would have interviews with students down at the Starbucks in the Grove, and just the interactions I had with CBA students were always a level above the interactions I had with other students.
Yeah, I definitely feel at CBA, we are held to a higher standard, and I think that's displayed by all of our students, in and outside of school, and I think that's, important to stay true to that.
It definitely is. It definitely is. Because you think about, when you think about, choosing a school, right? You're thinking about, well, what is different about that school from other schools around that I could possibly go to? And so those unique characteristics, that level of expectation that is that several notches up, right? It's not only a level of expectation from our teachers and our administrators and our staff, but I really see it's a level of expectation that you all have for one another as well. And I think that's one of the really good things that makes our community work the way it does.
I couldn't agree more with that. And, going on to the topic of, this week, I'm sure this week is one of the busiest weeks of the year for you. You have the entrance exam, open house, tours on the weekends. I actually was doing one of the tours as an ambassador myself. Could you tell me what it's really like coordinating and setting all these things up? I'm sure a lot of people don't take into account how much really goes into doing all of that.
You're right. Because I'm, myself and Ms. Neary, right? It's the two of us, but we can't make an entire open house or an entire entrance exam run just the two of us.
During the open house, there's a lot going on. So.
There is, certainly. And so it's about being able to do all of the prep work in the background, so we spend summertime and really the beginning of fall planning things like open house, and really mapping out how we want to do things, how we want to best present CBA to our prospective families, and then getting the whole community on board, right? So talking with the teachers, talking with the coaches, talking with all of the club moderators and Pegasus and Jazz Ensemble, right? Getting everybody from a faculty perspective on board and jiving with the plan that we've come up with, right? And then also working with you guys as ambassadors. Admissions at its bottom level is about telling a story. It's about telling the story of the school that you're at as a student or that as an adult that you're representing, right? And so telling that story comes from the best voices are all of you as our students. And so that's why it's so much fun for myself to work with you guys as ambassadors. When we have Saturday tours and your commitment to school by coming here on a Saturday morning for 4 hours to give tours to prospective families, or on a Sunday to be part of open house, or even on an evening program, right? Like our open house that we had this past week, it really shows how much you guys love CBA. And then you really see how authentic the story is that you all are sharing. And so it's such a team effort. All of the planning that goes on behind the scenes, yes, blowing up balloons and ordering signs and putting out tablecloths, right? That's all of the behind the scenes stuff, so that when we open the doors on a Sunday afternoon or in an evening on our evening open house from this week, that everybody is ready to just greet every single family that walks through the door. One of the things I say to ambassadors the most is, it doesn't matter if you're not out there giving a specific tour, right? If you're standing in the hallway and a family just seems a little scattered, a little lost, you go up, nice smile, introduce yourself, and that sets such a good tone for their time here.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that exact situation happened with me. I think one of my first open houses, I wasn't really doing any tours at that point. I was still learning the ropes a little bit. And, there was actually this family that was like, where can we go to do this? Where can we go to do that? And after I talked to them, they seemed, a lot more settled in. And, I think that's important that the ambassadors are there to, really create the whole CBA authentic experience that you talked about.
Yeah, definitely. We can't do it without you guys.
Yeah. And, of course, there are a lot of things going on at the actual open house. What would you say is your favorite part?
I think so this year, because we have our brand new dining hall open, our dining hall and kitchen open this year, we were really able to utilize that space in a way that we never have before. And so we had most of our clubs and activities in the dining hall, as well as stage food services, having food out for all of the families. And so to walk into that dining hall and to just see just the buzz, right? It's like you walked in and it was almost as though you were sort of listening to, there was this buzz of when a radio station is on and you can kind of hear the buzz in the background. Yeah. And so to see that buzz, to see families and to see students, actually, prospective students, because sometimes when you're a 7th or 8th grader, right, you can feel a little shy going up to a teacher at a high school, or even going up to students at that high school and asking them questions. I saw more so this year than in past years, the students themselves walking up to the adventurers table and introducing themselves and asking questions. So I think that is really my favorite part, and this year getting to just see being able to use such a beautiful space. It helped us to truly open up our campus, to have all of our fields outside, our new facilities on display, to be able to have so many moving pieces happening, so that we can truly tell the CBA story in all facets, was really something that I enjoy.
That's awesome. And throughout your years here, what would you say has been your most fond memory of CBA?
My most fond memory of CBA.
Can I go back?
Yeah, I think my first graduation here So, when you come into a community, right, you're learning the ropes. You're checking out, okay, what makes this place really tick? And graduation is such a culminating event of students' entire experience here at CBA. So even though those seniors, I didn't really know them that well, it was a moment when, after my entire first year of being here, it was really a moment when everything just came into focus.
Yeah.
To show me, okay, you're in the right place. This is a place that you connect with. You connect with your peers. You can connect with the students, and you can really make a difference here.
Yeah, I feel like CBA is like a real sense of community. That's like, from my middle school, there wasn't really any sense of community there. But when I came to CBA, my freshman year, the first couple months getting adjusted was rough. But once I started, actually getting involved in clubs and activities and sports, you really felt that sense of community and brotherhood that I think, holds true to all CBA students. I think it's really important that all CBA students get involved and communicate with their peers and their teachers, because I think that's what makes the experience better.
Well, it makes such a difference, right? And I'm sure you could think of the different activities that you're involved in and the different groups of people you get to interact with, right? It's not just one set of friends.
Yeah,
right?
I agree. And, I'm sure you're doing other things than, directing the entirety of CBA's enrollment, which is a big job. What are some of your favorite things to do outside of school? Get outside the topic of, CBA enrollment.
Yeah. So when I'm home, I love to go on walks with my dog and with my husband. And then we also really love to cook. We renovated our kitchen this past year, and so for two people who love to cook, we have this really awesome space now. So even this summer, we joked we didn't go away on vacation anywhere, but we stayed home and we cooked a lot because we could finally utilize that new space. So just getting to spend time doing things like that I love, spend time with my family. We're really lucky to have our family all very close by, and so family and friends are of utmost importance. And so that's my outside of work life.
Yeah, I am a little bit of a foodie myself.
Okay.
Made some chicken parm last night.
Ooh, yum.
I know.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it was fun. Made it for the whole family. But, our whole family is involved in cooking and food. My dad was a chef.
Right.
We have our restaurant. But yeah, food's always surrounded me, and I love food.
Well, it's such when you think about if you have a family party, right, or you have family over, everyone gathers in the kitchen.
Yeah.
It is the gathering spot, no matter if you intend for that to happen or if it just sort of that's how things unfold, right? And so it's the heart of your home. And you learn different things, right? You learn about your family, you learn about your past more so usually than you've ever had before. So that's great that you can enjoy that too and learn from your family and enjoy that.
And the last question I'm going to ask you, I've asked other teachers this.
Okay.
If you could give any advice to the student body or faculty, what would it be?
Don't let sort of the small moments in a day pass you by, right? So basically anything that comes your way, take advantage of. Even if in the moment, a friend asks you to be part of a club, right? Or a teacher asks you to be a part of a special project, and in the back of your head, you're thinking, I don't know if I'm just so busy. I don't know if there's any way I could possibly add something else. Maybe sit down with that person and say, okay, like we both have kind of busy schedules. How could we maybe work this out? Because I don't want to miss this chance, right? I think that time really flies by. The fact that we are having our first entrance exam this weekend, I can't believe that it's here already. It just, time flies by. Applications will be completed. We'll be reading applications. We'll be sending out decisions. You don't want to get so caught up, and I am guilty as charged.
Oh yeah, I'm always wrapped up in the moment.
Right.
But I agree with that. Taking advantage of the moments that are, grasping those moments that, you have an opportunity to have. Personally, for me, my sophomore year, I was really busy lifting, wrestling, and of course a lot of schoolwork. Sophomore year was pretty tough regarding that, but I had an opportunity to join our CBA digital network, and I was like, I don't know. But now that I actually made the decision to join, I'm so happy I did, because I have a lot of new friends, and I found a new hobby that I do love. Being on camera here and writing articles and doing other things, and I really couldn't agree more with that. Taking advantage of those opportunities you do have.
Awesome. And you do digital network. You guys come up with stories. You come up with talk tracks. You're really getting into journalism.
Yeah.
And it's great to see. So yeah, don't get so caught up that you let that little stuff pass you by.
I couldn't agree more with that. Well, Miss Maccarella, it was a true pleasure having you here today.
Thank you so much, Nick. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for chatting. I love it. Thanks for how you represent the school too. So
thank you. That's all for now. We will see you next time.